Hi, my name is Ed Patterson, Ed to my friends, and this is an exciting video for me. So we've seen, if you've been watching, there's this video in front of this that's basically a setup to a dilemma, a potential dilemma for the church. There is a story in the Book of Mormon that can be fact-checked. Is that good or bad for us? And so if you watch the video, it's about the story of the travels of Lehi and Nephi from Jerusalem to Bountiful. Nephi, for whatever reason, gave a lot of different details in the Book of Mormon, in 1 Nephi, of where they were at, how long it took to get there, what things went on. Can you identify and verify those things? That's the real question. Do the antis go, Yahoo, we're going to prove you wrong? And I will say this, over the last 195 years, many antis have said, well, that's a bunch of bull, that's made up. There's no way that Joseph knew anything, and he didn't. That's a good point. And I made a point last time that the first white person in the world went to Western Arabia in 1830. The Book of Mormon is translated in 1829. So he doesn't have maps, he doesn't have things to look at. It's all coming out of his head or from God. Very interesting. So I'm going to show you something. This is an awesome, awesome book. 81 evidences of Lehi in the wilderness. These are by two guys who lived in Saudi Arabia for 27 years combined. And they had a desire. They were both intellectual guys. They're both interesting guys. We have the time, could we go from Jerusalem and follow the path that Nephi is laying out in the Book of Mormon and find these places? Can we find where they hit the Red Sea? Can we find the Valley of Lemuel with the running river of water that goes out to the Red Sea? Is there something that even exists out there? All these things. So they go at it. They take 6 years. 6 years. Thousands and thousands of miles of driving. 4 years to create this book. I don't know if it's out of print or not, but it's if you see this book anywhere, you ought to at least look at it. It's stunning. They have pictures and connections all the way through it. It's one of my most enjoyable books. So what did they find? These fellows found every one of the 81 possible variations in the first book of Nephi. 81 of them. They found the place where they went to the Red Sea. They found where Lehi and his family went south by southeast from the Red Sea, and they had to because the Red Sea itself tilts. It isn't straight up and down. It goes this way. So south by southeast is following right along the Red Sea. They discovered from the local people that wilderness is desert and borders is mountains. And there's a whole bunch of both on that west side of Saudi Arabia. That's interesting. So they get to the Valley of Lemuel. It says they took 3 days to get there. They're on camels. That's about 75 miles. So these guys say, well, we got to make a circle, and we got to look about 75 miles-ish. Can we find something? And the biggest deal here is water. There is a stream or a river flowing continuously in Saudi Arabia out to the Red Sea. Is that really possible? Does it even exist? And the west side is drier than the east side. Most of the population of Saudi Arabia is on the east. West is mountains, desert, and not a lot of water. So they drive 75 miles. It takes them many days, but they find a valley. And in that valley are a couple of things. One is a small river, right? And it does flow out to the Red Sea. It's one of the few rivers in all of Saudi Arabia. Joseph could have known that. So I'm not as a challenge particularly, but if you have something as a person who isn't through with the church or through with the Book of Mormon, if you have thoughts on this, let me know. I'm interested in what you're thinking. Here's fact, right here. And there's a lot of pictures that will go with this. Here's the valley, 75 miles south of the top of the Red Sea. It has a river that continually flows. And that's how it says in the Book of Mormon. It continually flows. It isn't a couple of months. These guys went back 6 times to this valley in different months of the year. The water's continually flowing. Interesting. There's seeds in that valley. There's growth in that valley. And Nephi says, we took the seeds with us as we went. They went 4 days to Salzar. That's 100 miles. They drive that, and they find Salzar with all of attendant information there. Now the next step is a big one. They got to go down 400 miles down the coast of the Red Sea, and there's not a whole lot there, not a whole lot of water, not a whole lot of wood, not a whole lot of anything. So what shows up on Lehi's door just before they leave? The Liahona. The Liahona shows them the way if they're righteous. Interesting. These gentlemen make a lot of comments about how difficult it was to find their way through the mountains and desert from Salzar down to Nahom. It wasn't just a nice, easy drive with a nice open, flat surface to go on. It was hard. And so they have this. They go down. And this is where Nephi breaks his bow, a steel bow. Everyone's bummed out. They're mad at him. The boys, other boys have bows, but their bows have lost their elasticity. They can't really hunt. They're hungry. What are they going to do? So Nephi makes a bow of wood. The question is there even wood in Saudi Arabia to build a bow? Now, I had no idea this. These fellows found out there's only one tree that you can build a bow from, and that's an olive tree. And in this part of the country, they have wild olive trees. Everywhere else, there is none, atop of it and below it. So it was possible for Joseph to build the bow. Just interesting. They traveled to Nahom. Nahom is a name of a town down in Saudi Arabia. They found the name. They found the town. That's where Ishmael dies. That's when they're going to turn exactly east and head east. Did the Liahona tell them to do that? I would suspect so. Don't know that. Didn't say that. So now they're going to go in a more populated part of the country. Where they've come from, there's hardly anyone. Not a lot of water. There's oases here and there. But they got down there to Nahom. They're tired. They're hungry. They've been through a lot of hard times. Now they're going through a populated area. But they don't light fires. The food they eat, the meat they eat, is raw. Why is that? So these men do their research. All in here. So there's no flim-flam. It's right here. Everyone can read it. It's documented. This is where there were a lot of bandits. There was a trail called the Frankincense Trail that people traveled. That's why there's more population there. But there were bandits. There were people who would not do them well. And so they travel with no fires, so they can't be seen at night. But the meat's palatable. They can eat it. Now, could Joseph Smith have made that up? Maybe. But they can see the reason for saying it. But now they come to Bountiful. And it's eastern. It's this way. It's not a straight line. There's this gorgeous, beautiful area of Saudi Arabia at the very bottom of it on the Gulf of Arabia that is a lot of people are there. They're not alone. It is a harbor. Boats are built there. Lots of things are there. But for Nephi, there are the things they have to have. He's identified things that have to be in that particular area. They have to have wood that they can build a boat. There's a mountain above Bountiful. Lots of trees on it that have wood today. One of the first times they've seen wood since they left Jerusalem. So the barrenness is gone. Now they have interesting things to see. Along with that, they have to have the ability to smelt ore. There's a place there that they can do that. They have to have flint. There's a place there that has flint. Raw flint. You just pull it and you can strike and start a fire. There is seeds of plants and trees. Now, you may know this if you think a little about it. One of the big saving graces of Arabia is camels and dates. And they grow on date trees, big, look like palm trees. They are full of vitamins and good things. Did they take those to take? They just said they took seeds with them. The boat he built was not like other boats. Now, he was raised in Jerusalem where there are no boats, no water there. How would he know what other boats were unless there were boats here? These men found Looking back, this has been a port for thousands of years. And so he saw what was there, but he didn't build a boat like that. He built a boat that God told him to build. And they're gathering things up. They're going to put them on the boat, and they're going to head for America. The prevailing winds that come by the Gulf of Arabia will send them that way. Amazing. The last thing, they said they took wild honey. That's an odd way to say honey. In Bountiful, where they found Bountiful, one of the only places in all of Arabia there is honey. But it's wild. It's not domesticated bees. It's wild bees. Still, how could Joseph know all of those things and get them exactly right? That seems amazing to me. So, my opinion is these brothers are true. They're not liars. They're not making things up. They took a long time to develop all the things and find all the things they're looking for. It's a great book. I enjoyed it tremendously. But that would, I guess, be my point. My point is, Joseph didn't make things up. He could not have known the detail of things in Arabia in 1829 in Palmyra. And all those places, all those things were found by these two men over 6 years of travel, thousands of miles of travel. I submit that to you for your thought. It should be a pillar. You say, this is one of the pillars I can lean on. Joseph couldn't have done that. Maybe I should read the Book of Mormon again, really pray about it to see if it's true, because this story is gorgeous. Okay, we have one last video. It'll blow your mind. It's about this same topic. Hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.